Welcome to the 2024 End of Year Awards Ceremony show hosted by your guy with too many YouTube channels over here. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Guys, we're going to get right into it. I have some amazing awards for Fortnite this time around. The prize will be nothing, but one day it'd be cool to ship out Epic Games something once we get the channel to be the biggest of all time. Let's get straight into the video, guys, okay? So, starting off, we have Season of the Year. What was the greatest season of this year? Here are your nominees. Chapter 5 Season 2, Chapter 5 Season 3, Chapter 5 Season 4, Fortnite Remix, and Chapter 6 Season 1. I was hesitant to put in Chapter 5 Season 1 because it did start in 2023, but regardless, I wanted to choose 5 nominees for each category that we have over here. And you can't forget, guys, these are all my opinion for the greatest season of 2024, and we have your winner, and that is going to be Chapter 6 Season 1. This stood out of every single season that we took part in, man. And we had some okay seasons, man. Like, if you guys been following the channel, you would know that I wasn't the biggest fan of Chapter 5, but this was a step up in every single possible way. I don't understand how anybody couldn't give Chapter 6 Season 1 this award, and I'll talk about this right now, guys. What I wanted to do for this video is have one video which is just this and just my opinions for the video, but I also wanted to have another Fortnite Awards video just by community votes. Unfortunately, with it being the end of the year, I wanted to get this out right before the end of the year, and I ended up being so busy for Christmas that the idea slipped my mind, and I also wanted to dive into like so many minuscule and just like random awards that I could give out, but unfortunately I cannot do that this year. But next year, guys, you have my word. Next year we are going to be making these videos huge. You're going to have a bunch of random awards. You're going to have community voted awards. I'm so excited for it. But this video is still hopefully great for you, so I wanted to get into the next award, and this being like an example of what I wanted to do next year. Let's talk about Freakout of the Year, guys, okay? Freakout of the Year. Here are your nominees. The Movement Update, Rarity Changes, Fortnite Wrecked in general, Old Battle Pass exclusivity being talked about, and the Fighting Doom live event. The Movement Update, while it was mostly last year, it was so bad that it extended into this year, so I thought it was perfect to include, to be honest with you. And shockingly, Fighting Doom was up here for biggest Freakout of the Year, and I went through all the drama videos that we made, I went through all of them, guys, and these were arguably the biggest freakouts that we've ever had, guys. Now, in my opinion, there was one freakout that stood up against them all, and I will say for you, if the Movement Update began in 2024, this would have the vote hands down, with the doxing, with everything that went on. But there was one that started in 2024, and there was one that is honestly still talked about, that being Fortnite Wrecked in general. The hate, the complaining, the whining, and again, Freakout of the Year was everybody crying about Fortnite Wrecked. I'm not saying that you weren't justified in hating the season. I'm not saying anything of that sort. I'm just talking about, come on, like, if you want to talk about people crying and whining online, there was really nothing that beats Fortnite Wrecked. And guys, I will say Chapter 1 still has you beat. Everybody forgets about that. But the winner for this year's Freakout Award is Fortnite Wrecked. Now, guys, let's talk about Live Event of the Year. We saw some great live events, and here are your nominees. Remix the Finale, Fighting Doom, Sandstorm Event, Pandora's Box, and what I recently learned it is called the Refinery Event. That was the Megalodon event. Now, the mini events were really good. It's difficult to compare all of them because, of course, a couple of them were bigger than others. There was one that was actually just a concert, but there was one that stood out, in my opinion, one that I enjoyed more than everybody else, and, excuse me, every other else, and I enjoyed it more than everybody else. I will say it like that. Stumbling over my words here, trying to figure out the right way to say that. But the winner for this category is going to be Fighting Doom. I thought structurally, for a mini event, this was absolutely perfect. I loved what I saw. I loved the community having to fight Doom against, and I loved the build up to this event. Everything about this, in my opinion, was perfect. What I didn't like nowadays was the ending, but of course, I didn't really come to that conclusion until kind of afterwards, unfortunately. We do have a video on that if you're interested, but Fighting Doom was the best event of the year, in my opinion. Let's continue on to the Weapon or Item of the Year. Here are your nominees. There were a lot of great ones, but in my opinion, these ones really stood out. The Void Oni Mask, the Sentinel Pump Shotgun, the Four Nightmares Chainsaw, Avatar Earthbending, and the Ship in a Bottle. All of these incredibly unique. All of these brought some really fun gameplay. The earth bending is the one that I chose out of all the bending because half the player base hated the water bending, and this one I thought was pretty balanced. It was fun to use. You could bring up the wall, you could throw some rocks. The ship in the bottle is perfect for Fortnite fun. I had an absolute blast just spawning a giant ship in the middle of a build fight, taking down some buildings. The chainsaw is self-explanatory. The Sentinel Pump Shotgun, arguably the greatest weapon introduced in this entire year because there were such problems with the shotgun meta and weapons in general. And the Void Oni Mask, one of the most unique and, in my opinion, balanced fun things that have been in the game in a long time. But it was close. It was close, but one of them ended up sticking out more than the rest of them because, of course, I enjoy it when the community is happy, when everybody that I'm playing with can enjoy this weapon as well, and that was the chainsaw for Fortnitemares, guys. There were a lot of great weapons. In my opinion, if it was just on what I wanted, and like if it was just me playing the game, I would have chose Ship in a Bottle, honestly, with you, but the reason being, everybody was so happy with this, and I had fun driving around on chainsaws with everybody else, so the fact that everybody else loved this made me love this more than the actual Ship in the Bottle. The Fortnitemares chainsaw really stood out. I loved it. Let's continue on to storyline of the year. The storyline, as you note, we saw the beginning of Charlie Wen's story, and it ended up picking up as the seasons went on. So, the nominees for storyline of the year is the Society versus the Underground, Underworld Midas, Pandora's Box, Doctor Doom, and The Wanderer. All of them had their own, I guess you could call it, like, interest levels to it. They were all very interesting. Of course, I understand that there were some critiques to them, but we're still building upon all of these, and I know that a couple of them had their lackluster conclusions, but one of them ended up sticking out. Hopefully, we continue on with a good story throughout Chapter 6, but out of the entirety of 2024, the greatest storyline, in my opinion, was Doctor Doom. Not only Doctor Doom finding hope, but the entire build-up, the entire season. While I hated the conclusion to it, we had the event, we had the build-up to it. Even if you want to include the Wanderer technically with it, guys, I was so invested in this storyline because it was so well written, so well teased. I loved the build-up throughout the entire season. I'm not going to just dog on it for the conclusion that it had. It had me completely 100% invested, guys. Let's continue on to the next award, that being Skin of the Year. What was the greatest skin of 2024? Here are your nominees: Heroic Hope, Chaos Director, Titan, Budge, and the Night Rose. All of these fantastic skins, in my opinion. I wish I could have picked Goldfish because that's what I ran the entirety of the year, but that was introduced in Chapter 5, Season 1 before 2024. Here is your winner for Skin of the Year, and I ended up going with what the community would probably choose, and a skin that I do like myself, that being the Night Rose. People have been going crazy for this skin ever since the release. I like the story that we're building up to so far. The skin was cool the first second I saw it, and I think it is well deserving of Skin of the Year. Let's continue on to the next next nominees, next award, that being Battle Pass of the Year. What was the best Battle Pass of the year? Here are your nominees: Chapter 5, Season 2, 3, 4, Fortnite Remix, and Chapter 6, Season 1. Honestly, when it comes to Battle Passes, I thought that Epic Games did a fantastic job for the vast majority of the Battle Passes that came out, but in my opinion, one of them did stand out to me, and that is going to be, again, one of what might go down as one of the greatest seasons ever, that being Chapter 6, Season 1. Take a look at all these skins, man. The collaborations from Godzilla to Heroic Hope to the Night Rose to, is it Diego? Am I saying that right? I don't remember if there's a skin called Diego and it's not him. I'm sorry, but you get the point. Like, this whole Battle Pass was phenomenal. I loved it, and that gets the winner for the Battle Pass of the year. But let's move on to a more interesting one, in my opinion. I would love to know what you guys think about this, okay? The biggest missed potential of the year. Here are your nominees: Chapter 5, Season 4 in general, Fortnite Remix, Doctor Doom's storyline, Chapter 5, Season 2, and Valeria's storyline. While all of these were pretty hype in moments, I think that Epic Games kind of really missed the mark in making these as good as they could possibly be. So out of all of these, and again, I would love to know what you think about this one down below, and this is why I'm sad that we don't have a community voted one this time around. So out of all of them, one of them stood out to me, and that is going to be Fortnite Remix. It was almost Valeria's storyline, guys, almost. But Epic Games had the potential to bring back, in my opinion, what was Prime Fortnite. We only got pretty well one season out of all of that, and while it was fun, this was a huge, massive missed potential. They could have brought back UFOs, they could have brought back the Gravitron, they could have brought back some things like the sideways fights. There was something that so many people loved: the flood, the water storm, events. Chapter 2 was phenomenal, and Epic Games unfortunately didn't capture that love for it. Kind of like the complete opposite of what we're seeing with OG Chapter 1 Season 1 right now. They managed to capture the love, at least at the very beginning. They managed to capture the love. I understand not anymore, but at no point was the same magic captured for Fortnite Remix, in my opinion. Let's continue on to the next winner, next nominee, that being POI of the year. What was the best POI of the year? Here are your nominees: Grand Glacier, Mount Olympus, Doom's Castle, Magic Mosses, and Seaport City. All of these POIs were well put together, aesthetically pleasing, fun to roam around, and Seaport City is probably one of the POIs that people love on this map more than anything. And there were so many other great POIs, to be honest with you. While we did lack the amount of POIs, there were some really, really good, and more than 5, I'll be honest with you. There were way more than 5 when it comes to just POIs that really stood out. I will say, out of all of them though, and I'll admit to you, before Chapter 6, I would have said Grand Glacier, 100%. But Magic Mosses, at this time, is my favorite POI in recent time for Fortnite, and definitely the best one out of 2024. The beauty, the aesthetic of it, when it comes to these 3 structures, the fights that can be had, the underground area, the sprite statues. This POI has everything, and it is arguably one of the greatest forest POIs in Fortnite history. The placement for it is great. I find myself walking around here and just still looking at the beauty of this POI. This is, and I don't even think it's close, and I don't think it's because it's new either. This is the greatest POI that has come out in 2024, and I will say Grand Glacier was a very, very close second, guys. Now, let's talk about one that I am very, very excited to talk about, that being LTM of the year. What was the greatest LTM? Oh, wait, the nominees are blank, but there is a video that you can check out right here, actually, guys, talking about why I believe Epic Games should bring back LTMs. I would love to have you guys over there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.